Would I Lie to You is a show about lying or telling the truth, but sometimes the truths are too improbable to actually believe. When I'm having a bad day, at least I can tell myself I didn't sell my car for some patatas bravas, unlike Rod Gilbert. This quite frankly insane story begins with Rod eating tapas, but due to having no money, instead paid with his car. Not only that, but Rod throughout the entirety of the story somehow speaks so nonchalantly, in spite of losing essentially $2.5 grand.
It was good tapas, it was nice. We had...
Not only that, but the story becomes bizarre when it's revealed he sold the car to his friend to pay for his meal and didn't bother to pay for anyone else's meal despite, you know, giving away a car.
I had £15 worth. We all had roughly, I suppose. Why don't I? Didn't check.
But you didn't offer. You didn't offer the micro for everyone's meal. You said, well, I only had this, this and this.
It's no surprise David's team all guessed he was lying, were obviously incorrect and called him a moron. But the silliness only starts there. Exemplifying this is weatherman Thomas, who appeared to inform everyone that until a few years ago, he didn't know a lamb was a baby sheep, and stunned pretty much everyone. Thomas was a meteorologist, a form of scientist, but the fact he hadn't known about the life cycle of a sheep for about 35 years produced a rare moment where David was too shocked to properly speak.
What is... because you're a scientist.
Tom was noticeably cringing as he recalled the story of going on air and asking farmers why it's lambing and not sheeping. But it is a massive leap to assume anyone so smart could miss this animal fact that 3-year-olds know, and somehow he seemingly doesn't know other animal life cycles as well.
Have you ever seen an adult caterpillar?
It was absurd and extremely embarrassing, but at least it was short and sweet, unlike the iconic Kevin Bridges story. Kevin Bridges' Bulgarian counterfeit extortionate scrambled lads holiday story will perhaps go down as the day the show's limits were tested on how a fantastical story could actually be true. Kevin stumbles through his story, constantly umming and making the most ridiculous slip-ups.
The guy explained to us that the guy was gone. The guy...
Was that he'd gone.
This story is one of the longest on the show, apparently going on for close to 40 minutes in real life, which is actually pretty understandable considering Kevin literally couldn't finish the story without adding in a new detail, causing everything to be rehashed.
So where are we taking off from?
You're taking the horse back. Let's go back to the start.
Lee begins face-palming, Rob is begging Kevin to look at him, and even Brian Cox on Kevin's team tells the other team he thinks Kevin is making it up. Kevin messes up the Bulgarian currency, the guy's name who sold him the horse. He makes the other team think the horse was 2 men in a suit, and not to mention the odd time slots of 25 minutes, each to rent a horse for a trek. And sure, that was a trek, but escaping a Toy Story-esque scenario was another. During a special guest round, Ian appeared on stage, and either was Jason's butcher promotion pal, a man who sold David lots of batteries, or saved Ruth's tortoise, which was 30 seconds away from being crushed by a can crusher. Ruth was the last person to answer the questions, but was the first person to be disqualified by Lee's team due to seemingly having no idea about really anything.
Okay, my tortoise...
Whose name is?
Tom.
But the story made no sense, as Ruth claimed she turned her back and the tortoise darted away and got lost for an entire 5 weeks, even putting up missing posters like you would with a cat during that time. Lee really makes a meal of it, berating such a seemingly stupid story where an entire factory of workers didn't notice a tortoise.
But he was close to the end of the line, about to go in.
Yeah.
So all the other people on the line, they just missed the tortoise. They'd gone, I do cans, I do plastic. Who's going to do the tortoise? It's not my job.
I think the end, when Ian reveals Ruth's story was correct, can be summarised by Lee's look of absolute disbelief. That being said, by the looks of it, he doesn't do his own dentistry, but fortunately I found the right person for him. Bob Mortimer, hands down, is my favourite Would I Lie to You contestant due to his insane stories, but this one takes the cake. In this particular episode, Bob reveals he's been doing his own dentistry somehow for 15 years, to which David immediately picks up on the craziness of this claim.
No, because even very, very, very good dentists sometimes get someone else to do their teeth.
Bob goes on to describe how his prior sugar addiction caused him to lose teeth, causing them to be replaced, which cost him a fortune, so he did it himself. But he's so camp for essentially being the Frankenstein of the dentist world, to the point Lee, on his own team, is even asking him questions. However, can you really blame him when this is apparently Bob's setup?
It goes there, and I can put my mirror there like that. Got the light there, game thing.
Sorry.
Between his constant talks about this apparent Fuji 9 and the weird setup he had for his operations that even made David question if it was plausible, it perhaps is the most insane truth Bob ever told on the show. And that's something. Something else you can do is subscribe to the channel, but have a good day and see you soon.